and today I am going to discuss with you a graph which has been seen in the academic IELTS writing test on 8th August in China, 8th August 2015. The graph below shows the spending on research into renewable sources of energy in 4 countries between 1975 and 2000. Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. So here, this sentence you do not have to write in the intro, and this first sentence you have to change by writing the synonyms, or you can take words from here and then make one sentence. So the given. So here you will say below there is no graph in your IELTS. So you will say the given line graph shows word is there in the question. So here instead of shows you will say illustrates the spending patterns. So here it is written the spending on research into renewable sources of energy. So here it is spending patterns of 4 countries in conducting research about renewable sources of energy. The period covered is from 1975 to 2000. I think this is not a very strong line to put here. This is you can just say from 1975 to 2000. So in the question you will see here it is between and in the topic in the question, and here I have written from and to. So from and to would be changing the language. So you are changing the combination, changing the language. So you have to put one more sentence here. So you can put up a general sentence. It is clear that Switzerland spent the most on research for renewable sources of energy. Research into renewable sources of energy throughout the entire period. So it is clear that Switzerland spent the most, the maximum among the given 4 countries. On research into renewable sources of energy throughout the entire period. So this is a 2-sentence intro. 2-sentence intro is good enough, and these are 2 long sentences. And then from 1975 to 1980, the Swiss spending on research increased from nothing to $2 per person. See, here it is nothing, here it is $2 per person, and after that there was the figure climbed steadily upwards. The figure climbed steadily. So climbed means upwards, you don't need to write the word. And reached a high point of and reached $5 per person by 2000. See, it is easy now. From then on, the figure climbed steadily and reached $5 per person by 2000. Here it is. After that, this figure climbed steadily and reached $5. This is $5 per person. You have to mention per person by 2000. On the other hand, the UK spent the least all throughout the period. Here, this dark solid line is for UK. It spent the least throughout the period, except for a short period around 1990 when it spent more than Spain. So UK spent, on the other hand, the UK spent the least all throughout the period. except for a brief time in 1990 when Spain spent the least. By 2000, the Britishers' spending on research reached an all-time low of $0.2 per person. So by 2000, the Britishers' spending on alternative sources reached an all-time low of 0.2, approximately $0.2 per person. As for the remaining two countries, Spain's research budget fluctuated at around $1 for the entire period, spending just a little bit more than UK. See, this is a dashed line for Spain. They spent around $1. This is $1, and see, this dashed line has never gone above $1. So it is approximately $1 throughout the period, fluctuated at around $1 for the entire period, spending just a little bit more than UK. Denmark's spending was about $1.2 per person in 1980. This is slightly more than 1, so it's 1.2 approximately per person in 1980. And from 1980 to 1990, you can see this spending remained stable, and after that there was a sharp rise and it reached 3.5 approximately, $3.5 per person by 2000. And remained steady for 10 years. In 1990, the amount climbed steeply until from 1990. The amount climbed steeply until reaching its all-time high of $3.5 per person in 2000. On the whole, the four countries, so you can say overall, the four countries spent varying amounts on research into renewable sources of energy, but the Swiss and the Danes showed the maximum interest in these alternative sources. But Swiss and the Danes showed more interest than Spain and UK. So they showed the maximum interest in these alternative sources. So this is my sample answer for the graph. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's see how many words it has come out to. It's 204, slightly over length, but there is no penalty for writing more, as you don't have to write less than 150 words, and it doesn't take much time to write around 200. So 170 to 180 is a safe limit that you must write. It's just a 20 words above that, so you can omit something here or there. But you must see that all important data must be put in. So I hope you enjoyed it. This graph was there in my earlier collection of the past IELTS questions, so maybe it was repeated sometime in the past for my students. Actually, I didn't save the date, but when I saw it today on the China IELTS questions, I knew I already have such a graph written. So I'm putting it up for you and sharing it with you. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.